So we got a posterior hip capsule stretch here. So the goal, what I'm thinking about with this exercise is I'm thinking about driving this thigh bone, your femur, through the back side of my hip, okay? So the goal is to think about driving that through and getting a stretch in the back side of your hip here, okay? So front view here, the more you put your knee underneath you, okay? So my chest is here. So my knee is almost like under my middle of my chest or my belly button. So the more you think about that, the more you're going to be able to get your weight over that knee and drive that bone through the back of your hip, okay? So it's going to look something like this from the front view. So you can start on your hands here. This knee is down. My other leg is like just kind of in contact with the ground to balance. And I'm just kind of leaning my weight into the knee that's on the ground, okay? If I don't get a stretch from there, I can go to my elbows, and that's going to increase some of that stretch amount, okay? So a lot of times the compensation you're going to see when people are doing this from like the side view, okay, is they're going to want to sit their butt back, okay? And now you've lost that. Now you're just feeling a glute stretch versus when you stay upright, this bone should be pointing straight to the ceiling, and that's going to push it out the back of your hip and get the capsule of the hip, not the glute, okay? And then also a lot of times what you'll see if you don't have the band, which we'll get to that here in a second, is as you get this knee inside more over your chest, you might get a little pinching in your groin, okay? So if you don't have the band, you won't be able to do this, but if you do have access, this is what the band's for. So you bury that band in your groin, okay? And then now you come out and put a good amount of tension, enough to where it's a solid amount of tension, but it's not going to yank you back, okay? And then you do the same setup, but now this puts traction on the hip and should take out some of that pinching you're feeling, okay? And then also with the setup with the band, you'll notice it's straight horizontal from my hip joint. It's not way up or way low. It's really in line with my hip. So give that stretch a go. Start without the band if you don't have it. And if you can do it without the pinch, great. But if you do start to have the pinch, try to get the band set up and get a little traction on that hip.